interviewing Shakespeare. So, what was the name of Shakespeare's theatre that was built in 1599? And what was the basic shape of the theatre?
Hello, my theatre is the Globe Theatre, and it was built in 1599. The round shape increases the sense of participation. This is because everyone is around and close to the stage. My theatre is in the shape of a donut.
Why, that's very interesting. How much do the cheapest seats cost?
Wait, sorry, put them in back.
Where would a person who bought such ticket sit?
Well, quote, the groundlings, which were the cheapest seats just under the open cover, would throw and shout at the actors. To come here, it is only £5 to see a play, unquote. The groundlings sit in the open area, so if it rains, they would get wet. But these are nice seats because everyone could afford them.
Another question for you, Shakespeare. Where were the cheap seats located? Where were the better seats? And where were the best seats?
Well, the groundlings were in front of the stage. The better seats were atop, and the best seats were over the stage. Quote, the better seats were near the stage and the section in the gallery known as the Lord's Room. The best seats of all were in the room that was opened onto the gallery above the stage itself, unquote.
Do your productions have elaborate sets? How about elaborate costumes?
We don't have much scenery, but we have very elaborate costumes, quote. Most clothes were versions of clothes at the time, but sustainably adapted. Gorgeous clothes were for playing a nobleman and noblewoman, and clothes like these were often cast-offs from actual noblemen and noblewomen, unquote. We pay a lot of attention to the fashion.
Alright, so what do flags mean flying atop the theater?
I know his.
Quote,
Wait, what did
a
they say?
flag was flown to tell people on the other side of the river that there would be a play that afternoon, unquote. The flag color also shows what kind of play was on, comedy, history, or tragedy.
How and when was Globe Theatre first destroyed?
Well, in the 17th century it had burned down twice, unquote. This building was very easy to...
And now to Brick Tamlin. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brick Tamlin. Queen Elizabeth, what was the social position of the actors? My authorities were always trying to keep the actors from performing in the inn yard or the bay yards. They tried to put them out of business and kick them out of London. William Shakespeare, were women allowed to act on stage? During my time, there were no women in plays. None of the actors were women because they were not allowed to be in plays. William, what kind of person played young herons on stage? During my time, boys played all of the female roles. People believed that acting in a theater was an unsuitable thing for a woman to do, and did not expect to see them on stage. Why were the theaters moved outside London's city limits in 1594? The theaters were moved out of London because they shut down the playhouses due to the plague. Why were all of the theaters in London closed in January 1593? The theaters were closed in London because rats and fleas were responsible for the plague epidemics that swept the city.